What's going on, everybody? Hold on. All right, I think we got it. Well, it's a little bit of an echo, but we'll be all right. I think we will be good. Get my mic situated here. What's going on, everybody? FYB presents Wise Word Wednesdays, a quick live stream to help you get closer to accomplishing your dreams. Man, I'm really excited for today because this is the first of many different Wise Word Wednesdays. If you've been following me over the past 6 years, we have done, and this will be actually going on year 7. The FYB team has done Wise Word Wednesdays every single week for 6 years, and we get an opportunity now to kind of extend that a little bit and turn it into, instead of just a little nugget, to give you information to kind of hopefully help make your life a little bit better. Now we get to kind of extend it and turn it into a full-blown conversation. And so I'm really excited, not only because of what we're doing, but I'm really excited because of who I get to have as my very first guest. And this was 100% intentional as to who I wanted to be as my first guest on the Wise Word Wednesday podcast / show, whatever you want to call it. And the person I have is one of, if not the best motivational entertainer in the world. He has been in this industry for over 20 years. Is it 26 years? 26 I believe 26 years that he has been in this industry. Literally, his lifestyle is to make people better. I'm talking about someone that has toured around the world. He is just the best of the best. I'm talking about Coach Greatness. I'm talking about Uncle Kevin Bracy.
Let's go. Refresh. Let's go.
We here. What's going on, How you doing?
Love you, man. I love you too. I feel great anytime I get an opportunity to be around you, hear you, just to be in your space. It gives me energy. So I'm fired up. I'm excited. I gotta calm down.
It's love. I mean, I'm super excited. The fact that Unc pulled up on me, I told him, I said that I had this idea that I wanted to do the podcast with you. I wanted to start this off with you because I felt like, you just have that energy, and your story is very important. And obviously with me, an up and coming, motivation in the field of motivation, I felt like there was nobody else I wanted to have. So I'm just glad I was planning on I was like, we could do it, live, but we could do it remote. And he was like, nah, I'm doing it live.
Through.
And so when you said live, I originally thought you meant we'll record it live. And he was like, send me the address. I was like, I said, oh yeah, let's go. Let's go. So Unc pulled up to the crib to record the podcast. I will say, I think this is the first time ever in your history that you wasn't an hour and a half early to the podcast. I mean, he's always an hour and a half early. I will say this man literally drove straight from Fresno to get to Sacramento to be able to record with me. So he was out there inspiring other, what was it, a couple hundred people there?
Yeah, it was 600 people. Yeah,
600 people.
Yep.
I said, yeah, 600 people. You know what I'm saying? Just 600 real quick. But so I definitely appreciate you taking the moment to be able to be here and to talk with me and just to help me create this and start this off on a good note. So
proud of you, man.
Thank you.
So
thank you. So for some of y'all may know, I won a speaking contest that I brag about all the time. And it was actually,
and he didn't just win it. The audience voted you. The live audience. It wasn't no politics. It wasn't no nothing. It was speakers getting up, doing their thing. Whoever got the loudest applause won.
Facts.
You won.
Facts.
You danced.
Man, held it down. I loved it. So I'm super grateful, and this is just, and honestly, I will say, me and Unc, we pretty much talk every day. It's in some way, shape, or form. We communicate every day, and so this is just giving y'all a chance to be able to see some of the stuff that we talk about, or at least some, some of the partial of the stuff that we talk about, and especially, me, you, Armani, we definitely continue that that motivation within each other. So first and foremost, you classify yourself as a motivational entertainer,
right?
Which is very different than many other people classify themselves, which they say motivational speaker. Could you just briefly tell me, why did you go with entertainer over speaker, and what's the difference?
I didn't deliberately do that.
Okay.
It came about. I discovered that that's what I was doing along the way, because, and how it came about was I was doing it was a parent night at an elementary school. I was working with the district in West Sac, and I was telling all the parents what I was about to do, the kind of work I was about to do with the 7th and 8th graders, and then the high schoolers. And one lady raised her hand and she said, "Wait a minute, I have a 4th grader. And I like the information you're going to be giving to the 7th and 8th graders and the high schoolers. When can my 4th grader get it?" And I was like, you know what? I don't really talk to elementary school students yet. And this was before I was doing any elementary schools, TK through 6th grade. But then once I signed the contract, they said, you have to visit and give a talk to the TK through 6th graders 4 times a year in 8 schools. So that's a lot of TK through 6th graders.
Yeah.
So I had to figure out how I was going to do it.
Wow.
Because as a speaker, I'm passionate, and TK through 6th graders aren't going to sit around and listen to me speak at them for 30 minutes.
Right.
What do they want to do? So I had to figure out, how do I figure this out in order to reach the kids? So I'm driving in my car one day in Sacramento, and I hear, God rest his soul, old school, Coolio, who passed away. And I was listening to his song that goes, 1, 2, 3, 4, on the floor. Didn't want to get up, get down. Do you want to get up, get down? My mind said, 1, 2, 3, 4. Bring your greatness in the door. Hey, 5, 6, 7, 8. Today is a perfect day to be great. Oh, well, that's it.
Wow.
I said, I'm not going to speak to those kids. I'm just going to sing chants in rhythmic form to give them affirmations, which is what I call greatness talk, so that they can remember it for the rest of their lives.
Wow.
So I started doing, instead of assemblies, I called them chant rallies. So for 30 minutes, we just chant affirmations in a rhythmic fashion. After the first 2 years of doing that, it blew up. So many elementary schools wanted my chant rally. So I said, you know what? I'm not a speaker. I'm really an entertainer. And then I changed my assemblies in middle school. I changed my assemblies in high school. I changed my assemblies for staff and professionals, where I added music and chants to everything. So I added an entertainment factor to what I do. So I said, how can I separate myself from what everybody else is saying they are?
Right.
Because everybody says I'm a motivational speaker.
Right.
I'm not that.
Yeah.
I'm a motivational entertainer. I might speak in certain pockets, but I'm going to be motivating you while I'm entertaining you at the same time.
Wow. And just like that, just like that. I think that's just a really dope understanding of who you are and what you're capable of, and what the goal is to do. Is like, yo, I'm trying to keep these kids entertained, but giving them pockets, like you said, giving them pockets of what they need as well too, feeding their spirit, in that sense. So I love that,
because we live in a 7-second TikTok world. They're doing this, so I have to keep them interested the entire time.
Right.
And the way I do that is through chants, music, rhythm, swag, all of that.
I love it.
Mix that all up together.
I love it.
Yes, sir.
I love it. So what, I'll go to the questions that I sent you a couple of questions before. So what got you interested in doing, motivational content?
When I think back, such a great question. When I think back, what got me interested was how motivational content made me feel. Before I was delivering it, I was listening to it. I was reading it. I was I mean, inculcating my mind with it. And how it came about was I started off in the multi-level marketing industry. So I graduated from Mesa Verde High School, graduated from American River College, graduated from the University of Utah on a baseball scholarship. After that, I had my degrees, and I didn't have a passion for what I got my degree in. So after playing 2 years of professional baseball, what that taught me was it's actually possible to do what you love and get paid to do it. See, for me, that was oxymoronic. Those two don't work together. Why? Because when I was growing up, my pops, dope, God rest his soul, on Sundays when the football games was over, Pops was always trying to figure out how he could take off on Monday. He didn't want to, you know what I mean? He wanted a 3-day weekend. So I don't know if he had a passion for what he did. So I'm thinking, wait a minute, I am not going to live my life, go to college, play college ball, play pro ball, and reach this pinnacle, this apex of joy and passion. And then now in the real world, I got to find a job that I don't have a passion for. Right. So somebody loaned me back then, we called them cassette tapes. I'm an OG now.
I remember.
We are now podcast.
I remember.
Right?
Yeah.
They loaned me a cassette tape. I put a cassette tape of a motivational speaker into my tape deck of my Pontiac Grand Am. The tape got stuck in my tape deck. The author of the tape, the voice on the tape was Les Brown. First motivational person I've ever heard. I didn't even know what a motivational speaker was. And I'm listening to this tape over and over and over and over. And I saw myself changing. I saw myself gaining more confidence. I saw myself reaching out. How you doing? My name is Kevin Bracy. What's your name? I saw myself growing. I saw my attitude changing from being angry and mad all the time because I wasn't making the money I wanted to make and all of that, to changing to being more positive and spreading positive energy to other people. One day I'm driving down the highway, get off Highway 80, and I'm right by Cal Expo off of Expedition Boulevard. I'm at the entrance of Cal Expo. But I'm not going. I'm going straight. At that light, I remember thinking, after hearing his tape for maybe the 1,000th time, it seemed like, because it was in my tape deck for a long time, I said, wait a minute. In one moment, wait a minute. All this man is doing is telling his story. Wait. I got a story. What if I can tell my story and move people the way this man is moving me? Nephew. In that moment, I got a new dream.
Wow.
In that moment, I said, you know what? If you worked from high school, from when you were T-ball, to go to American River College to play ball, to get a baseball scholarship to a Division I school, to play baseball for 2 years at the professional level in Canada, if you use that same energy and put it into speaking, you can win. I put that same focus, same commitment into speaking, and today I get to do what I love to do. But it started, the seed was planted with how motivational content made me feel, which made me say, I want to make other people feel the way it's making me feel.
Wow. It's crazy that the way the universe put that stuck into, you know what I'm saying? Stuck into your tape deck, that allowed you to have the opportunity to play it so many times, which got you thinking like, oh, right, I can do that.
I can do this.
I can do that.
I have a story. I just want to tell my story. And it turned out into something that I never even dreamed of.
So how did you know that you had the ability to use that? Because I feel like it's a superpower, right? To be able to motivate others is a superpower. So
for sure.
All good. So how did you realize that you had the ability to motivate others, and what made you use motivation or public speaking or entertainment as the tool of using that superpower?
So I started off in multi-level marketing, like I said. That has influenced me from day one. And one of the things we had to do, or we didn't have to do, they suggested that we do, if you want to be successful in this business, we suggest that you every single day listen to an audio program, one audio program a day. Read 15 minutes out of a book that inspires you every single day. Speak out your affirmations out loud. And make sure you show the business plan. You have to show the plan to other people, show the idea to other people. That's how you grow the business. So as I was showing the plan to other people, what I noticed is how they responded and reacted to me speaking just about the business. And people would get involved in the business because I motivated them to get involved. They didn't want to do nothing.
Right.
They just wanted to get involved because they felt that they would miss something because of how I was just explaining it to them.
Yeah.
So I saw how they were responding to me. And I said, whoa, I think I got something here. I didn't know what yet. And then when this Les Brown tape and all of this came into play, I would go to seminars. I would watch these speakers on stage. I'm just part of the organization. I'm not on stage yet. I'm just watching. The meetings would go until 1 a.m. People would be asleep. And I noticed I was still on the edge of my seat, watching the speakers. Make it like going, oh, I think I want that stage. You know what I'm saying? Because I saw how they responded to me as I was showing them the business plan. And then I saw people speaking on stage and I put 2 and 2 together and I said, I want to do that.
Yeah.
And it became something that I became obsessed with it.
Yeah.
Tiger Woods was obsessed with golf. LeBron was obsessed with hoop.
Kobe.
Candace Parker, obsessed. Kobe, obsessed. You have to become obsessed with. People don't like that word.
Right.
But if you're going to make it in something, you're going to have to get. I was focused and obsessed with going from being in the bleachers to on that stage.
Wow.
And I figured it out, but it took me 16 years to break through.
Wow. So, which kind of brings me into the next point. Obviously, it took you 16 years. And we talked the other day. It was funny. We was chopping it up because I was like, I'd be like, KB, if you did 14 years, then I got at least 14 years of wise where you was like, hold on, no. Don't forget them 2 years. I did them 2 years. And to me, that was so powerful because you can't forget how long that struggle was. And it needs to be told in its entirety because those last 2 years might have been
huge.
The hugest part, right? Like the hugest part. I remember Lupe Fiasco has his verse or this song where he talks about how like a person was gonna go selling drugs, and right before they went to go sell drugs, that's when he got signed, right? And so so it just kind of reminded me that's like, yo, don't forget them 2 years because if you give up after 14, your blessing was probably gonna be at 15,
boom,
or at 16.
Yes,
but because you said you thought it was 14 and done. So I appreciate that. But what I wanted to talk is, was there ever a moment where you felt like motivational entertainment or motivational content wasn't right for you?
Never.
Never
one time in my once it was on my radar, I never even entertained the possibility of going back.
Yeah.
I found it. Listen, I'm aware that some people call it luck. Some people call it blessed. Some people call it fortunate.
Yeah.
I'm very, very blessed to have discovered. See, as an athlete, you hear all the time, you got to have a plan B.
Right.
I don't want to talk about no plan B.
Yeah.
Don't athletes want to talk about no plan B?
Yeah. This is plan A or plan A.
Listen, it's plan A. But you do have to find something else you're as passionate about, not instead of your sport,
right?
But in addition to your sport. I found another plan A. So once I stepped on stage and gave my first little Toastmaster speech, I knew there's no way I could go back.
Wow.
There's no way I can. This is what I'm going to do for the. Now, I'm not saying I didn't have moments of doubt, moments of fear, moments of failure. Feeling sorry for myself because I wasn't there yet, bad attitude, all the stuff.
Yeah.
But I never, ever once thought to myself, this is not for me and I'm going to go do something else. Don't even talk to me about something else.
Right.
I was focused.
No doubt. I love that. What is that kind of brings me to, you touched on a little bit. You talked about feeling down or feeling doubt. When you were feeling down, when you had those moments, because we're human, right? We're not robots, right? Just because you do motivational entertainment, it doesn't mean that you're not human and you don't get down. So when you have those moments of feeling down, what keeps you going now? And what kept you going back then when you did have those moments when you were just getting started?
Well, what kept me going back then was going to a job. I'm not everybody's wired for a job.
Right.
Some people are wired for entrepreneurship.
Right.
And the fact that I had a job and I had to go, and I was grateful for my job because it's paying the bills.
Right. For sure.
But I was going to a job. They told me what time I had to be at that job. They told me what time I could eat lunch.
Mm-hmm.
They told me how many years out of a year I can get sick and get paid on sick leave and what time I could go home. That bothered me.
Mm.
So every time I went to that job, it bothered me.
Yeah.
So what kept me going is you're either going to build this business or you're going to have to go to a job for the rest of your life. And I'm literally psychologically unemployable at this point.
Mm.
You can't employ me. Well, I'll pay. I don't care what you can pay me. I can use my talent and my gift to make my living. And now that I know that, nobody can. I'm not saying I'm better than anybody else.
Right,
I'm not saying it's bad to have a job. I'm not saying that.
Right.
Be grateful to have your job.
Absolutely.
But for me,
yeah,
it did not work for me. I'm not wired that way. So what kept me going was looking at my wife, having to rob Peter to pay Paul, going to the grocery store with a calculator and having to figure out, how much we can, going to the gas station, how much we put in $7. All we got. I'm not talking bad. I'm just saying that reality for me, I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
And it was serious. It wasn't a game for me.
Yeah.
I wanted to live a certain way, not rich and all. I just wanted to live a certain way. And that wasn't the way I wanted to live.
Absolutely.
So that's what kept me going back then.
I love that. I love that because that's ultimately what, Fire Your Boss, what FYB, stands for is really just creating an opportunity for you to live the lifestyle that you want. But it's first understanding that how important you are to that lifestyle happening, right? Because a lot of people would think, well, if I just become a rapper, then that'll be it. Or if I just do anything else, then that'll give me it's the one on the other side.
Okay,
yeah. So if I just become a rapper, then that'll do it. If I just become the best producer, if I just play basketball so well, then that'll get. It's like no, you are
right.
You are first.
And
then after that, the question is, what do you do that helps give you the lifestyle? And it could be sports, it could be music, it could be whatever you want, but it starts with first realizing that it's you. It's you. So that's what we talk about. Fire that boss mentality of thinking that somebody has to tell you when you're going to go to lunch. Somebody has to tell you when you're going to clock in, when you're going to clock out, when you can see your family. If you got kids that has a basketball game and you saying, oh, I got to work, I got to go do that. You know what I'm saying?
That's what kept me going.
Yeah.
That's what kept me going. And I didn't hate anybody at work.
For sure.
I just did not want to be constrained to that for the rest of my life.
Right. Because
building that Amway business, what it taught me, my mentor taught me, he said, you don't have to have a job. I didn't know this. This was the first thought he told me was the first thought in my head. You don't have to have a job, but you do have to figure out a way to make money.
Right.
So if you can make money, more money being creative, then a job will pay you, then that gives you options.
Smart.
I didn't grow up with that mentality. And most people don't.
Right.
But nowadays I'm thinking, when you look at all the opportunities around us, we can do anything.
Literally.
Don't get me started. I won't be able to sit down on this couch.
Literally. It's crazy.
And then the second part of that question was what keeps me going now? Honestly speaking, I don't get down like that anymore.
Wow.
I don't it's not working, or I've hustled to a certain level in a certain place. There's some people that are way further. There's some that are way better or making more or more successful, and some that are less successful. But for me, I don't get down in that way anymore. The times that I get down, it's for other reasons, but it has nothing to do with speaking or my business or anything like that.
Wow.
I'm just grateful every day for what I get to do, that people keep calling back for the last 11 years now. I've been doing 250 shows a year with no marketing.
Zero.
Well, some people think, well, you ain't got no following here and you ain't got no following on. I know we're going to get to online. Some people are making a lot of money offline. Just because you don't see this and that and the third and they ain't flossing and this. Some people are winning right where they are, and they don't even need social media to win. And I know that's hard to fathom.
Wow.
Now, if you add social media in and you figure out the investment that it takes to make your social media's numbers go up and all the stuff that goes along with it that a lot of people don't realize, most of it is fake.
Right.
But you can use social media to go even further if that's what you choose to do.
Yeah.
But it's a choice, because I started before social media, so I don't need social media to continue to win.
Wow. I mean, that's the fact that you started before social media and don't need social media right there, I think separates you from 95.9% of like the rest of the people out there. First off, the other what 4.1% is separated because they're motivational speakers, you're motivational entertainers.
Yeah.
So like you're like literally like 0.001% of people out there, which like obviously explains why you're so successful in what you do, and in this.
And I want to correct something. When I say zero marketing, I mean sending out information, emails, making calls, letting people know it's booking
paying
season,
for ads,
and in fact, I don't do any of that. My marketing is when I'm in front of the room, and when you're in front of the room and you rip, they will never forget you, and they will leave there feeling great about themselves and talking about you. And that's how my career has gone, because I had the greatest mentor on the planet, which is Les Brown.
Wow. So in this 26-year career that you have, obviously there was mistakes probably that you've made. I mean, if anybody does anything long enough, they're going to make a mistake no matter what. So what is the worst mistake that you've made? And you can talk about specifically within your career or in your life in general. What's one of the one things in these past 26 years, what's the worst mistake that you made, or what you would classify for now as the worst mistake?
I'm going to give you three, but I'm going to try to keep it
short.
Keep it short. The first one has to do with actually as a speaker.
Okay.
One of I would say the biggest mistake I made was I was in my 30s and I was feeling myself, because everybody, oh my gosh, that's so good, and this and that, and you start getting your head filled up and you think you all that, and then I got booked to speak at the University of Chicago for a leadership seminar that was going on, big event, leadership event there, leaders from all over, college leaders. And I went in there knowing my story, my baseball story, and the stuff that I bring that everybody has liked up to that point. And the gentleman brought me in. His name is Chuck. I won't say his last name. He brought me in. I delivered my message, did what I do. And afterwards, everybody was, oh my goodness, woo, woo, woo. They were so, I was shaking hands, whatever. And I got home. I got an email the next day from Chuck. It said, Kevin, everybody loved your speech, but you did not talk about anything that I asked you to talk about as we were preparing to bring you in. When we were hiring you, that conversation we had, the paperwork you sent me with the questionnaire, I filled all that out. We had a conversation. You didn't hit not one of those points.
Wow.
And it was because I was feeling myself. All I got to do is go and do what I do, and they're going to love me. No, you got to do what they ask you to do in your own way.
Right.
But you have to do what they ask you to do. That's why they're bringing you in. And when I got that email from him and he said, it was great, but I'm disappointed. That hit me in my gut, bro.
Yeah.
Because that's all you want to do is impress the person that's bringing you in.
Yeah.
That they say, he heard me. He knows what we're trying to do here. I didn't do any of that. And he hit me hard, and it crushed me, and I had to rebuild my confidence back up after that email shook me to my core. Second mistake I made was at Elk Grove High School. I was doing an assembly at Elk Grove High School. And one of my main pieces of my show message was, you never know what's going on in someone's life. So if you're going to err in any direction, err in the direction of kindness, err in the direction of respect, because you don't know what went on in that person's house last night. That was the message that I was beaten down. I get about 30 minutes into a 45-minute presentation. And as I'm walking around the gymnasium, students on both sides, teachers on the sides, huge gym. I happen to glance up and I see two students with their back turned to me. So everybody else is facing me. They had their back turned and they were sharing earphones. And in the middle of my presentation, I went, you have your back turned to me while I'm speaking right now? it came out. And they kind of turned around, and then everybody it disrupted the whole joint, right? And everybody started looking and looking, and then they eventually turned around, and then I kept going. And once I got done, I was like, man, their backs were turned to me. A young lady came up to me right afterwards. She was angry. Not the one that was, not those two, another young lady. She goes, you just got done talking about, you never know what's going on in someone's life, in someone's household, and you just put those two students on blast where everybody was looking at them. Do you know what went on in their house last night? I went, oh my God, I was sick.
Yeah.
Because I don't. Now, the principal said, you did what you're supposed to do.
Right.
They were being disrespectful. So the principal rode with me.
But in here,
I was sick.
Yeah.
So that's the second huge, big mistake I made as a speaker. Now, in life, one of my biggest mistakes was believing that I needed to be attached to someone in the speaking business. And that attachment to them was going to build my business for me. And they were going to help me get gigs and help me build my business and help me book my calendar and help me. And and when they weren't, I was crushed.
It's your business.
I know Les Brown.
Yeah.
I'm hanging with Les Brown. So if I know Les Brown, I'm going to be booked. I'm about to win in this game. Les Brown going to help me. And then eventually I had to leave Les Brown's eagle nest because I have a family at home.
Right.
And I had to actually build the business, because hanging out with Les Brown, hearing all the applause, you're so great, you're going to be so great, I was feeling myself like I'm at the top. But then once I realized he's not going to build my business for me.
Yeah.
He's not going to book my calendar for me.
Absolutely
not. He's not going to build my name and reputation for me. So one of the biggest mistakes is thinking that because you know somebody or you can name drop, that's going to build your business. If you want it, you got to do the work.
Ain't nothing handed out.
You got to do the work.
You got to put in work.
And all those live shows that I was doing, that was all putting in the work to build my name and reputation.
Wow. Well said. And I think that's super key when we talk about a lot of young people who are part of anything, right? Any a field that you're interested in, whether it's education, whether it's sports, whether it's entertainment, whether it's music, whatever, you have to build your own.
You have to do the work.
If you build it, they will come.
Right.
But you have to build it. It doesn't say if somebody builds it for you. It doesn't say if somebody does the work. No, it says if you build it, they will come. But you got to build it.
And a lot of speakers think, oh, I'll get in and I'll hire somebody to do my booking. They're not going to want it like you. It's a job to them. The only person that's going to book you is you. The only person that's going to get you booked is you. Now, once you have booked yourself enough times and your name is in the game, okay, now I can hire somebody to help me manage the requests that are coming in. But until you get to that point, you have to make it happen.
That's a fact. And so anybody out there, anything that you're going to do, you got to be willing to put in the work.
Make it happen.
Absolutely. So, I mean, when you're talking about doing 250 plus shows a year, obviously it can be some might see it as taxing on you. So I want to ask, how challenging is your profession mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically for you? And then every time that you're out there, you're not with your family, right? So is it taxing on them as well too? Could you give an insight to, obviously you and I talk, so I know what it is, but to other people, they're like, oh, he's out on the road 250 days out of 365. He ain't with his family.
Right.
How taxing is it on you and on your profession? How challenging is it?
Well, first, I'm going to give a nugget to anybody who's trying to build something from scratch right now. And you got a dream and you got something that you want to do. And you got these delusions of grandeur. You're like, oh my goodness, I'm going to be around the world and I'm going viral and all that. Listen closely. Dream global, but focus local. Dream global, but focus local. We want to dream and be. Listen, I was listening years and years ago. I was listening to Ice Cube. He was being interviewed by a disc jockey out here by the name of Davey D. If you're from SAC, you know years ago, Davey D's dope. Davey D, I believe, was asking him. Davey D said, what would you tell an upcoming rapper who wants to be Ice Cube? Where do they start? Cube said, you have to become a celebrity in your hometown first. Once you become a celebrity in your hometown can't hold you forever. Once you become a celebrity in your hometown, you made it at home. You can always go around the world, but when you come back, you always can eat because you built it at home. So is it taxing for me to do what I do, emotionally, physically? I'm so grateful because I don't feel it in that way because 95% of my business is local. I don't have to get on planes and go and stay in hotels all the time. There are times when I get in my car, drive to a Fresno. Well, I want to go to Fresno last night so that I don't have to take that 3-hour drive at 4:00 in the morning. Right. I could do that, but I'll go a night before. But that's only Fresno. I'm back. My wife be with me sometimes. Kobe's about to start coming with me, my son, because he wants to be a speaker. So it's a family business. When I go to LA and speak, my daughter meets me at my speaking engagements. So I'm not the normal type of motivated professional speaker. Most speakers have to leave to get their money. Get on a plane and crisscross the country and be all over the world. I don't want to do that. So I built something at home that worked.
That's beautiful. Dream global, focus local. I love it. I know you touched on this a little bit earlier, but the social media thing, right? We have a lot of people out there fronting. Let's just keep it real. We have a lot of people out there fronting as if they are they're just top shot. Like they're all celebrities. They all travel the world. They all have, hundreds of thousands of followers. They all are rich. They all they're all everything. Right. So, for you, how has social media, helped you or even hurt you in a sense, depending on who's looking?
I've been fortunate to not have to. There was a time where I was thinking, oh, social media, and I have to do this and do that, and I got to be. And then I realized whether I posted something or not, the requests were coming in. Whether someone liked a video or if you look at my social media now, I haven't posted on Instagram in a long time. I haven't posted on Facebook. I use my stories. But I don't have to do it. So I just use it as entertainment. I'm just like anybody else. I'll scroll. I don't even like a whole bunch of stuff. Your stuff, people I love, I follow them. But other than that, I don't look at TikTok videos or look at this. I don't like that. I don't touch that. I'm not in the world of it. I see it. I know it's there, but I haven't used it to my advantage yet. Maybe I will choose to at a certain point. But right now, because I don't have to, I don't even want to be on the radar. I don't even want to be in the mix. I just want to do what I need to do, what I love to do quietly in my own corner of the world and hang out with my family, man. That's all I want to do.
I love that because I kind of have that feeling as well too a lot when it comes to social media. Like I'm on it, but it's more like a way to communicate with people that I rock with, or like I'll look to see funny things. But like, if it wasn't for Wise Word Wednesday, I pretty much wouldn't post. Like I'll post on the story, but like if you go on my page,
post you dancing though.
Oh yeah.
You gotta post you dancing. I need that. That's why it's crazy.
Hey, I mean, but you know what I mean? Like fun things like that. Like otherwise, like I just wouldn't really post because I don't really see the point of it. Like I love what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, and like when I travel with my friends and stuff, like I'm enjoying the moment.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm enjoying.
You don't have to always be right.
You know what I mean?
I'm the same way.
Yeah.
You got people that always, I mean, it's just like, oh, you gonna post another selfie? I mean, it's like crazy. But I mean, to each its own.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. So I think it's a blessing because a lot of people feel like I need to get the following first, or I need to have a certain level of following or a certain level of influence online or online presence to be able to have an impact. And it's like, you don't, because Unc literally touches thousands of lives per year, and he don't care about social media.
I don't care. I really don't. I had to grow to that.
Yeah.
It wasn't always like that. I
Mhm.
grew to that once I realized that it wasn't affecting my bottom line.
Right.
Now, now I'm not stupid.
Mhm.
If I maximized it, I could do whatever I want.
Yeah.
But I don't have a desire. I'm not motivated to do that. I
Yeah.
don't care about that.
Yeah.
What I care about is the mic and the people in front of me live. I'm a live performer. That's it. I don't
Mhm.
want to make videos. I don't want to go live. I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
I just want to do my thing and post, what I, when I'm with students, they want to see themselves on my social media. So
for
I'll
sure.
post them.
For sure.
The
For
adults don't care,
Yeah.
but the
yeah.
kids do.
Yeah, no doubt.
So-
no doubt. So let me ask you this. Music is so a part of what you
Hey.
do. Why is music so much involved in your entertainment period? Like, I mean, you did you drop the album yet? First off,
No, it's coming.
the album is on the way.
The album is on the way.
I've heard
Greatness
some
Talk is on
snippets,
the way.
yo. It is
Because
fire.
you own it.
It's fire, yo. Oh my god. So just know it's gonna be fire. But
Yeah.
but why is music so involved in what you do?
My dad was a drummer,
Mhm.
and we used to have band practices at our house. Live music, drums, guitar, bass, keyboard, piano, kungos, and then the horns. So literally on school nights, I fell asleep next to the drums
Mhm.
during band practice. It's just something that's in my soul. I need music around me. I love music. It changes my state. And if it's going to change my state, and I have the ability to change your state because you're all sitting there for me to change your state, I'm going to use everything that I can to my advantage that I like.
Yeah.
So when I'm in a good mood, that's contagious to my audience. And I see how people respond and react when they hear music. So I can speak without music, but I need the music to maximize the effectiveness of how I deliver.
Got you. No doubt. So the other thing I wanted to ask is, advice, right? Because
Yeah.
obviously, so I've done, some speaking content.
Mhm.
And I know the few times that I've done it compared to you, right? The few times that I've done it, I've had people come up to me and be like, yo, man, like, I want to be a motivational speaker, man. I want to do what you do. And in my head, I'm like, okay, that's what's up. And, I always encourage people, man, like, you can do it. Like, you just got to stay on the grind. Like, you can absolutely do it. You got to be your best self. You got to focus.
Mhm.
So far, it sounds like it's just talk from a lot of people. It's just like they're good in the moment. I want to do it, but they don't really follow up. One, I want to say, is there what piece of advice would you give to someone to help them separate themselves from other people within the entertainment industry, and the motivational entertainment industry, which is right now, you're the only one,
Exactly.
right? Solo,
Yes,
right?
yes.
So what can people do to separate themselves from that industry? And then the other thing is, how do you know when somebody's serious or not? Like about doing it?
How do you separate yourself from everybody else? I believe it's energy.
Mm.
I can't tell you or anyone else how to do it, but I can tell you, for me, what's worked for me and what I hear when they book me is, we want his energy. We need his energy. We loved your energy. So my brand is energy.
Got you.
So to separate yourself, you have to bring your specific customized energy, and no one has the energy that you have, nephew. No one has the energy that she has. No one has the energy that he. So you have to bring your energy. Now, there are some speakers that are monotone and just kind of chill, and they're great. That's just not my style.
Yeah.
My style that separated me from what other people are doing, I guess, is he brings the energy. That's the key. But it's got to be your, in an authentic form.
Yeah.
Can't be faking, trying to be fired up, and you ain't really that kind of energy.
Yeah.
You are that kind of energy.
Yeah,
I'm that kind of energy.
Yeah.
Some people ain't like that. Armani is not that kind of energy.
Right.
He's gonna talk to you, and he has a cool, dope, loving, fun energy, but it's different from our energy.
Yeah.
But it works.
We that music lover. We up there.
Man,
we
I'm
up there.
I'm hyped, man. I'm hyped. And then there was a second question you asked me.
So how do you know when someone's serious?
That's the part I haven't figured that out. I'm thinking of someone right now. I got 2 students in Central California.
Okay.
Well, first of all, how long have you been doing Wise Words?
6 years.
6 years, wise word. You've been given a wise word for 6 years. You're serious.
Absolutely.
6 years.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Longevity, commitment to something.
Yeah.
Even whether it's going good, bad, or indifferent, if it's doing what you wanted to do, if it's not doing what you wanted to do, you kept going for 6 years. That's serious. I got a couple aspiring speakers that come to my Central California talks when I'm in Fresno, Bakersfield, Lindsay, Tulare, all the Los Banos, Dos Palos, all these small towns in Central California. They show up. One of the guys he's a driver. He drives a truck overnight. He's driving all night. But when I come to speak, he literally drives all night. Then he'll drive another hour and a half to come and watch me speak.
Wow.
He's done it probably 10, 11, 12 times. He's serious.
Yeah.
He's showing up to just sit and watch. Sometimes me deliver the same story, but he's watching and learning on seeing all the nuances and the things that he can do to make his presentation better. So the consistency in which somebody shows up and communicates and connects lets me know that they're serious, but I've been wrong more than I've been right on that.
Wow.
Because most people who say they're speakers, they're speaking into their camera and they're posting on Instagram, and that's cool.
And that's all they're doing.
Technically, you're a speaker,
right?
But you're not a professional speaker. Now, if you're getting paid to do that, okay,
yeah,
you're getting paid. I respect that. But I'm talking about live audience, live mic with people in front of you.
I think a lot of people don't understand how different it is to have, whether you're talking about in front of 10 people or in front of 100 or 1,000 people. It's very different than being in the microphone or on the camera.
Right.
Just like that.
Right.
It's very
different.
You have to perfect what you do.
Right.
It has to be perfect when you go out there and deliver, because that's their first and only time seeing you.
And they're hanging on every single word.
Everything. So you have to be perfect. Now with the camera, you can say, I don't like that version.
Exactly.
Let me edit that out. Let me add some snippets here and there. But when you live,
and it's the rush of that live.
Absolutely.
Is what I'm hooked.
Absolutely.
I'm a fiend.
And the energy that the audience gives you too,
man,
it varies, right? Because you can have energy like where it's like, yo, I can't wait to go back to do that school, or that place, or that audience, or yo, I'm cool. They good. They got it. They got it. They gonna hire somebody else.
Right.
So that to me is what helps shape a speaker for the future, because you have to be able to move the audience and to move with it's like a tango almost. Like, yo, okay, I see that they're stepping this way. I remember one time, and I told you I went to do this presentation. I was about to do this presentation up in Walnut Creek.
Okay.
And I remember telling you, I was like, this is a different kind of audience. I was like, getting your advice. I'm like, yo, should I start with my chant? And you was like, with this group, I wouldn't start with the chant. I was like, but I'm like, but I always start with the chant.
Right.
And he was just like, nah, experience on me. Let me listen. Right. So I listened and I switched it up, and I did the presentation first.
Yeah.
And when I got to the chant, there was like zero participation. Like, man, zero. And I said, I'm so good. Now, after the presentation, I cut the chant off. I was like, once I realized the energy wasn't getting, I said, we're going to skip past this. I'm not going, what I mean? I'm not going. And so I cut it off, and people still came up to me at the end. Thank you. I love what you did. I love what you said.
But if you'd have started,
if I'd have started with the chant and they wouldn't have gave me what I want, it would have derailed the entire performance.
Absolutely.
And I think when you talk about being a professional, moments like that shape, you know what I mean?
Yes.
How your career could go, because at the end they loved it.
Yes.
But if I would have started with the chant, they would have hated it,
Right.
and they wouldn't have tuned me out from the beginning.
Yes.
And then the
And
people
you
who
would have
hired
felt
me,
that.
exactly. And the people who hired me, they would have been like, we can't bring dude back,
Right.
because look at what he did. Like, he didn't even
Mhm.
get them going. And the other thing that I loved about it is that I had you to be able to reference, to give me that nugget. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of where
Right.
Wise Word Wednesdays is, because just a little nugget
Right.
of, I don't know if I would start with it, maybe put that at the end.
Yes.
Right? That little nugget saved an entire two.
Presentation.
And in fact, I had
Yeah.
to do back to back.
Yeah. I remember that. I
Back
remember
to
that.
back. So it literally saved 2 performances
Yes.
because of that one little nugget. That I don't know if you ever had the experience where like it turned out terrible.
Yes.
And that's where you got the message to be able to give me.
Yes.
Is that
Because,
what happened?
yeah, well, some people don't rock with you. How I measure that is when I walk into an auditorium, a gymnasium, a theater, and I watch how the students act while the person is introducing me. If they can't get quiet while the person, the principal or whoever's introducing me,
Yeah.
I'm not chanting with them at first.
Right.
Because A, they may not participate. B, if they do, can I get them back?
Yeah.
Because once they go, I go, hold up, wait a minute. It could either go crazy from there, or they get back and you can go to step 2.
Yeah.
Sometimes students don't have the maturity level to calm down when you're done with the chant. So I gauge it off of how they're reacting when the person is introducing me. If they're respecting him or her, then okay, I can step up and do it because they're showing respect. They know how to do it.
Yeah.
So it's really, we call it when we walk in the room, because I never know.
But I think it's that experience that gives you the opportunity and the ability. And,
right.
And sometimes like people wish that they could just rush to the finish line. And that's why I love what you said about you have to build it yourself, because those things help you fine tune what you are,
right?
Help you fine tune your skills to where you can walk into a room and automatically say, okay, they're not going to be on this.
Right.
Because I've seen you in person a lot of times.
Yes.
And I've seen how you adjust based on the audience.
Yes.
Like literally, I've seen you give back-to-back presentations.
Right.
And the information that you gave was the same for both,
right.
but how you gave it varied based on the audience.
Yes, sir.
But I think that what people forget is these, I don't like to call them failures. I like to call them lessons.
Okay.
These lessons that you learn help give you the opportunity so that you or develop your skill set so that later on you're like, oh, okay.
Right.
Now I know how to call it.
Right. You know, I can't be you can't shake me on the stage.
Absolutely.
There's nothing that can come up. The lights go out. Okay. Now just listen. Now you can't see me. I can't see you, but I know you can hear me. Check this out. Anything that happens, I'm able to handle it now. I was telling one of my students this the other day. There's no fast forward button.
Talk about it. Talk about it.
There's no fast forward button.
Talk about it.
Everybody wants the fast forward button. I need to get there. Let me tell you. The fact that there's no fast forward button for the ones who are really willing to get down into the dirt and grind,
it's a blessing.
They're going to win because they're willing to do the work. They're willing to do 6 years of Wise Word. They're willing to do that. Everyone else wants the fast forward button. I haven't gotten there yet. What do I need to do to get there faster? In speaking, you have to take the journey, because the moment you step up on stage and you bomb, that's going to affect, people are going to talk about that.
Yeah.
So you have to take the steps, fall on your face, get up, keep moving, keep moving. There's no one can move you faster to your brand or to your dream of professional speaking. It's a journey and you have to take that journey. It's a 2 to 5 year process before you break through. If you have the right people coaching and teaching you and you're doing the things that need to be done.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I got to acknowledge my pops. He left a comment. He said, I like this, working on your craftsmanship. He's watching. So shout out to Pops.
What's up, Pops?
Tuning in to the episode today.
Yes, sir.
I think it's just a lot of people don't understand that the journey is one of the most important parts.
Man.
of whatever you're trying to do.
Yes.
It's this journey of going through the highs and the lows to be able to get, when you're in the end, you're at peace because you know what it's like to have been where other people are, and you feel like more confident in what you're doing because of those previous experiences.
Absolutely.
And like you said, there is like the fast forward button. To me, it actually hurts you, even if there was,
Right.
because you don't get to actually soak in all the things. I remember I was going through something. I had I got some bad news, and I was just like, I was PO'd, like I was hot. And I immediately stopped and I recorded a video of myself. I said, I want you to see and remember what you felt like at this moment when you got this terrible news, because I don't know when 5, 10, 20 years from now, you have this opportunity to look back at how you felt and be grateful for where you are, because this moment is what helps shape you and get you prepared for that moment over there.
Absolutely.
And that to me is why the journey is important, because it's helping you understand why you're going to be there.
Absolutely.
A lot of people want to be like, oh, I want to be the best rapper in the world, but are you willing to perform in front of nobody?
Right. And not get paid.
And
Everybody
not
want to get paid. I want to get paid. Everybody don't get paid at the beginning. You know how many free speeches I gave for years? I gave free speeches for 6, 7, 8 years. Some people say, well, that's stupid. Oh, you call it what you want to. I was getting the face time and the stage time and the experience. Russell Simmons was somebody who I used to watch. I'm a hip hop head. I was born, I'm 51. Hip hop is 50 years old. I grew up with hip hop.
Hey, I know he don't look 51. He looked like he's 30, but it's all good. We gonna let it rock. We gonna let it rock. Go ahead.
So Russell Simmons, I looked at Russell Simmons, I looked at Jay-Z, I looked at Diddy. Now I'm just saying I looked at them as models. Like I'm looking at what they've done. Russell Simmons had something called Def Comedy Jam.
I remember that. Martin.
That's classic stuff.
Yeah.
I'm watching Russell Simmons do that. And one day I popped up in the bed and I said, wait a minute. All he has is a passion for comedy. He has a host, he has a DJ, and comedians going across the stage. He rented a facility. Wait, I could do that. What if I can do that and bring some speakers, call it Monstars of Motivation? I can host it, have my DJ Zan the Man on the ones and twos, have Kendra and her friends be the fly girls, the entertainment, and I bring speakers and create this stage for speakers. I was watching these guys.
Wow.
I'd go to Macy's sometimes. I'd have no money. I'd go to Macy's and I'd look at Diddy's clothes in Macy's. Like, he's from New York, man. Look at Jay-Z's cologne and shoes. I was like, all they did was have something to say. And they figured out a way to get paid and get people to listen to what they had to say. I'm not a rapper.
Right.
I got to figure out how to get people to listen to what I have to say. This is all in the journey. Russell Simmons said one of the saddest days of his life was the day he sold Def Jam. I mean, he sold it for, I don't know, 3, 4, 500 million. I don't know what it was, but it was a whole lot of money. You would think that's the day that he would go, yes,
celebrate.
But he goes, the moment I sold it, I was empty. There was no more grind. There was no more journey. That's the juice. Now, when you're in it, you don't seem like
it doesn't seem like it.
When you're in it, you're like, man, I can't pay my bills. I'm struggling. Whatever the situation is, I'm not there yet. I can't even see how I can make it there.
Right.
But if you keep going, the breakthrough is everything. I remember the moment I broke through in my 16th year, and the feeling, the exhilaration from my life will never be the same after this opportunity. And it hasn't been since.
Wow. I love that. Man, honestly, I'm just thinking about all the jewels that you're dropping, how I'm going to be able to clip a lot of this and turn this into some reels for a lot of people to be able to learn from. The last question that I want to ask, or one of the biggest questions that I'm going to ask from you is, if there was one wise word that you could give to me or to the audience or to your younger self, that you think is like super important, what would that wise word be?
Well, it would be a few things, but I'm gonna keep it as short as I can. But One of the things it would be is when I was on this journey to try to make it happen and it hadn't happened yet. I was committed. I was done. There was nothing else I was going to do with my life, but it hadn't happened yet. I couldn't pay my bills doing this yet. I was mad. I was angry. I was frustrated. And I was building it with a rage, building it with an anger because I felt like my talent and what I was getting paid for it was not matching up.
Yeah.
And that creates frustration.
Absolutely.
And one day I remember just flipping a switch and saying, you're going to live your life mad building this the whole time? Come on, bro. How you going to be you mad all the time? You arguing with your wife. You ain't connected with your kids, all because you ain't where you want to be yet.
Wow.
What you need to do is, this is just me.
Yeah.
Man, get rid of the 5-year goals. I don't even know if I'm going to be alive in 5 years. Get rid of the 5-year goals. Get rid of the 2-year goals. Get rid of the 1-year goals. Get rid of the 10-year goals. You know what you want in your life. You want to speak for a living. You want to have shows for a living. You wake up every day and win the day. That's all you're going to focus on. I'm not focusing on tomorrow.
Right.
What do I need to do today to win this day, to get a little closer, to do something toward? It's going to take 10,000 hours to make it happen no matter what.
Right.
You got to put in your 10,000. Well, I ain't there yet. Did you put in your 10,000 hours?
Right.
One day at a time, I started focusing on winning the day. And I said, I'm going to be the person that I want to be on stage. I'm going to be that person all day. When I go to Chevron, somebody's going to get motivated. Well, if I go to the gym, I'm uplifting somebody. If I'm at Walgreens or Costco, I'm going to talk to somebody. I'm going to uplift somebody. I'm going to be who I want to be now, although I'm not doing it for a living yet.
Wow.
I'm going to change my attitude about it. And that changed the trajectory of my journey. Last thing, the number one thing that changed my life. Hear me closely. If you haven't heard anything, you got to hear this. Do not give mental repetitions to the possibility of fear, failure, doubt, or defeat. Follow me, nephew. Do not give mental repetitions to the possibility of fear, failure, doubt, or defeat. What do I mean by that? Most people at one point in time, I was giving repetitions to the fear of maybe I won't make it. I was giving repetitions. I wasn't going to quit, but maybe I won't make it. Fear of doubting myself. Repetitiously thinking about fear, repetitiously thinking about doubt, repetitiously thinking about failure, repetitiously thinking about defeat. I'm giving it repetitions and it's making me feel a kind of way that I don't want to feel. But I had control over what I was giving my repetitions to. So what I had to figure out is, how do you interrupt those thoughts that come to your mind all the time? Yeah. And here's what I learned. When your mind goes negative, your mouth goes positive. I started to personally attack negative thoughts with positive words right now out loud. I'm not letting the negativity stack up and stack up and stack up and stack up and weigh me down. Every time a negative thought came, I would open up my mouth and say, nope, there's greatness in me. Every time a negative thought came, I thought of a fear or doubt came, and said, nope, I'm about to win today. I don't care. I'm going to win. I don't care what you're trying to think in your mind, Kevin, right now. There's greatness in you, and there's nothing that's going to stop you from making this thing a reality. It's speak or die for you. Wow. I had to attack it. Yeah. Where did I get that from? I got that from the greatest of all time, Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali would be in an interview with Howard Cosell. Howard Cosell would say, so what do you think about George Foreman? You got a fight coming up, big fight with George. Ali would say, I'm the greatest. I'm pretty. I'm a bad man. I'm asking you about George Foreman. I shook up the world. When I come to the fight, don't block the aisles of the doors because Archie Moore will fall in 4. Howard Cosell, I'm asking you about George Foreman right now. When I come to the fight, don't block the aisles of the door. There is greatness in me. Sonny Liston might be great, but I'm going to get him in 8. And if he want to go to heaven, I'm going to get him in 7. If he want a worse fix, I'm knocking him out in 6. He keep talking that jive, he going to sleep in 5. Oh, he knocking at the door, I'm going to get him in 4. Talking mess about me, He going to sleep in 3. That don't do, I'll get him in 2.
Mm.
And if he want to run, I'm gonna knock him out in 1. And if he don't want to fight, he better not show up that night. Ali was not even answering Howard Cosell's questions. Ali was talking himself into greatness.
Wow.
He wasn't talking to us. We were watching. People are like, I hate him. Why is he always talking? He ain't talking to you. He's talking to himself. Last night I had a dream. In Africa, I had one hell of a rumble. The whoop Tarzan's behind first for claiming to be the king of the jungle. For this fight, I've wrestled with alligators. I tussled with a whale. I done handcuff lightning and throw thunder in jail. You know I'm bad. I've murdered a rock. I've injured a stone. I've hospitalized a brick. He said, I'm so mean, I make medicine sick. I'm so fast, man, I can run through a hurricane and don't get wet. When George Foreman meets me, he's gonna pay his debt. I can drown a drink of water or kill a dead tree. Wait until you see. Mohammed Ali. Howard Cosell said, I just asked you a question about George Foreman.
Yeah.
I'm not listening to you. What did he do? He talked himself into greatness so that he would not give mental repetitions to the possibility of fear, failure, doubt, or defeat. When his mind went negative, he devoured the negative thoughts with poetry for him.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever worked for you. Today, he's known as the greatest of all time. He's lost 5 fights. Notice Mayweather, undefeated.
Mm-hmm.
He don't call himself the greatest of all time.
Right.
The best ever, TBE.
Yeah,
he had to even change the word.
Yeah.
Because who got that? Ali got it.
Right.
Because he talked himself into greatness. He talked us into believing he's the greatest of all time, which I believe he is in the ring and outside of the ring and what he stood for, in my opinion. So the wise word is do not give mental repetition to the possibility of fear, failure, doubt, or defeat. When your mind goes negative, your mouth goes positive. You have to devour negative thoughts with spoken words out loud right now for the rest of your life. That's the battle in life, is right there.
Man, I love it. I love it. You killed it, bro. You killed it, man. Thank you, man.
I love you, dog.
I love you, man. I don't even know what else to say. I literally don't know what else to say. I appreciate you taking time out of your day, again, driving all the way up from Fresno after speaking in front of 600 people, just taking time out of your day to come and help me launch this Wise Word Wednesday show. You did not disappoint.
Come on, baby.
Not even a little bit. So I'm thankful. I hope that you all got something from this. I'm thankful that you tuned in, whether you're watching on Facebook. We're live on Facebook. We're live on YouTube. We're live on Twitter right now. I'm excited. This will be available to listen to on all podcast platforms, probably starting tomorrow, which would be August 10th. But Unc killed it. Unc, where can they find you on social media if they do want to follow you at all?
Gee, you can just look up Kevin Bracy wherever. I am Kevin Bracy on IG, Kevin Bracy on Facebook, just Kevin Bracy on Facebook. If you find me, great. If you don't, I love you. It's all good.
It's all good. I love you, Unc. Thank you. FYB presents Wise Word Wednesdays. Brace up.
Brace up.
We fresh.
We fresh.
Peace.
Peace.